this time.
Mic's not on.
This meeting will now come to order. Scheduled for 5:30 p.m. This time we'll take roll call. I think Philip has accomplished that this time.
I have.
Notice that all are present for this meeting at the table. I would ask if you've had an opportunity to read the agenda, I need a motion to accept the agenda.
I make the motion to accept the agenda.
I need a second to that motion. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have the motion carried. At this time, point is new business. Business to discuss is properties referenced 509, 511 Washington Street, Cannelton, Indiana. I need a motion to accept the discussion.
I make the motion.
I need a second to that motion.
I make a second.
All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We can begin at this time, and I think from the beginning, what we'll do is identify with the clips that you just received in the paper that's on there to be filled out. It's entirely your choice to do that. The answers that you give is something that we can use with the judge at the appropriate time, at whatever court this may fall into. If indeed we have to go to a courtroom, we're going to hope that is not the case in this round of business that we're attending to this evening. So if you take the time to fill that out, make sure that gets back to the clerk, and we'll take possession of it. Those that would set to or would like to speak, we can set a 2-minute time limit. You're more than welcome to come, give your grievances, give your opinion, give your ideas, give your thoughts. That's what this meeting partially is about. And we will give you, as we are probably first and foremost, give you an idea of where we're at from where we were last time we met. Those of you that were at the Board of Public Works meeting in May. Yes, in May. My meetings just run together after a while. But I'll give you a quick coverage of what has happened. Some of you may be already familiar with, I don't know, the fact that we have brought charges against Ms. Barr. They are criminal references. They've been filed with the court. We have a court date, 29 July. I will be there. We will have our case set before the local judge, as far as I know. And this is a criminal charge, not a civil charge. And it's probably up to the court. But we did our due diligence from the city standpoint because we were forced to have to put those ropes on our streets and lower the commerce that occurs in this city. And to no fault of any of us sitting here in this crowd. I don't think that I'm off key with referencing that. If I am, you bring me back to the mat. But I think I'm correct in saying so. And we spend hours, when I say we, I'm talking myself, the clerk, I'm talking about the building inspector, we have spent hours in between time trying to put something together that will fast track what we do in reference to getting some relief from that blockage that's over there on Washington Street. Having said that, because John has investigated this a lot more depth, bless his heart, than I have in reference to what is available, I'll let John take about 2 or 3 minutes to let you know what he has found and what we're capable of doing and what we intend to do, and then I'll take it back from there. John, do you want
Is that better?
Yes.
So everybody needs to grab the mic then. Right. Well, the first thing is did a lot of research about the last 5 days, researching some stuff. And the one thing that's very important is these signing sheets. No matter what we do, where we go from these signing sheets and also this public testimonials. Even if you don't speak tonight, fill these out. And like I said, I'll hang around as long as I need to hang around after we can go and turn them in if I need to. But fill them out, take the time, and also in hearing from the public is huge. And some stuff we can't really say everything because we don't how would you say it? This meeting is really more about hearing from you all. It really is. It's time for you all to speak, and there's things that we're doing and going to be done. The biggest thing I found out is when you block off a downtown commercial street, it's a totally different ballgame because now you're hurting businesses, and that's why it's real important for business owners to do that. And you know, you just can't do this. And these buildings, you know, like I said, that's why the building inspector does his job. We're all doing our job. Rod's doing his job. And now it's time for you all to come forward. And that's why everybody's here. So now tonight you are going to get a chance to speak. Whoever wants to speak. You know, I only usually say 2 minutes because a lot of people want to speak. We like everybody to speak. We're not doing it to sketch it short.
So, and I want to add also, in reference to the 509, 511, we have another building up there that we just recently found out. The only reason it's still standing is the asbestos issue there. That's all. And through the state statutes that are on the walls today, we can take another look. But it's been 3 years not knowing that the only holdup was the asbestos. So that is a part of our short-range plan that we're putting together. But believe me when I tell you that these comments or what comments may be given verbally that we'll use off the internet at the appropriate time plays a huge part in what we're going to be able to accomplish. I can say in a shorter period of time than dragging this thing through the court. I believe I'm safe in saying that at this point in time. After this meeting, there'll be more information that we can bring out. Until we have the answers, I just can't bring the synopsis to the table and say, here's where we're going with this, because it has to be given a direction on what we obtain for further consideration. Having said that, I would open the floor to anyone who would like to take that 2 minutes to bring their story to the floor and speak to those that are in session with us, and begin with that. So at this time, whoever would like to come down, take themselves to that speaker over there, please do.
And if you like when you come down, you can bring that questionnaire sheet with you to help guide you through some of the questions, and then add to it. You know, but you're kind of, those questions are very important. It's on there, no doubt. If you have anything else to add to it, add to it.
So I would wait to see if anyone would like to add to the stories that they're writing, or questions. And let me say, questions to us as well as the best we can answer what we have in the works. I can say nothing has changed. Nothing has changed from the last time we were contacted by the courts, except for the fact that we were denied a telephone conversation with the judge on properties here in this city again, and couldn't even get a phone call through. It was delayed from the other side, but it's the same courthouse or courtroom that has other buildings that are issued for the city, if that makes sense to you. It's just that us getting our time in that courtroom has been close to impossible, so we're looking for a direction that doesn't take us into the courtroom but uses the court as an asset to allow us to do what we want and need to do here. So, I'll stop. Yes, sir.
I'll go first. Thank you, that.
And I know most people are here, not everybody, but I definitely need for everybody to say their name first, please.
I've been in the hospital for 9 days. Fortunately, I got out in time for this meeting. And I missed the first meeting, so if I repeat some stuff, I apologize. Most of you here probably do not know me. I'm Steve Owen. I happen to be the Troy Township trustee, although I'm not speaking as a trustee here today. I also own a building next to the Castleberry Inn. It used to be peach and green. Now it's brown with black trim. And I get 2 minutes? 2 minutes?
Well, try to stay with 2, but
Okay. And I'm not gonna tell you anything you don't already know. What's happening to I think the Castleberry is the prettiest building in town. There's a lot of pretty buildings. And what's happening to the Castleberry is a travesty. And the fact that one person can hold a town hostage, as this person has done, is a travesty. And I urge whatever authorities there are to step up and put an end to it for good. Thank you.
You know me, I don't ever stay quiet.
Please come down, get it down.
What's your name?
My name's Ron LaFord. I live at 240 South 7th Street. Basically, you know, we're talking about asbestos. I mean, that's worse than a falling building. Asbestos is going to be carried through the air, which anybody that enters Iron Gate Pizza, which is me, I go in there, you know, at least once a month. So we're all breathing this stuff in. You got a kid's school right around the corner, these high winds. I mean, that ought to be beyond an emergency situation, okay? I mean, asbestos, I thought that's what it was all about. I thought that's what that pile was about, that pile of brick. But it's beyond safety now. I mean, this is an emergency and we need to handle it that way. I'm hoping we're looking into it. Personally, I think there's probably, if they looked into it, they could probably find some fraudulent activity going on financially with these buildings. But I mean, that's about all I have to say is it's worse than an emergency. I mean, it's bad news with that asbestos going into the businesses. And probably everybody here goes into this pizza place, right? You know, so every one of us are breathing something in, all because somebody doesn't want to take responsibility. I'll tell you what, that's bad news. That's just bad news. I'm going to cut it before I start cussing. All right. So.
Anyone else? Mic's open. If you have an issue, welcome to it.
Say, I have questions more so than statements.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions.
Yeah, I don't know much about the rules and the laws of how this stuff works, but if the buildings are in such condition that they have to block the road, is that not a condition for the city to be allowed to tear them down?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a path that we have to take
Right.
to meet standards through the state, because the state protects individual property very highly. And if I'm stepping off again, I can deal with the legal aspect in this. But we're taking those steps as we speak
Right.
to perhaps utilize that as our one weapon, if you want to use it.
Right.
To complete this and terminate the issue. It's never has been a desire of the city to block anything off of it.
Right.
The issue was the safety of the children of the very schools that he spoke of, that we were placed into that position to do so. Emergency is the key word.
Right.
And until we have someone from IDEM here to give us that opportunity to carry it forward, we're at a standstill, but we are in that process
Okay.
with the IDEM.
All right. And I'd also like to add that I have a business at TNT Auto, and since this road closure, we've seen a decline in business. Cannelton itself, in my opinion, is dying because of this.
Well, we're hurting, we're not dying. this is a great city.
It is.
We have been,
We used
we've
to have
been
a lot of
brought,
business here.
we've been brought to a slowdown, if you will. But using that commerce issue is a part of using that emergency issue.
Right.
It's part of the equation. We've added it to the equation to hopefully do what we'll do in our next step.
Yeah, but when they're small businesses, that impact is 3 times greater than a larger corporation like a Dollar General
Right.
or a Walmart, someone like
Walmart.
TNT or a pizza
We don't
place.
have the funds to keep waiting this out
Exactly.
for another 6 months. Like, we might have 2 months left, if that. You know, so it's like, I'm not sure what they don't get about it being an emergency.
And
That's the confusing part.
Is getting the right people on the doorstep to Cannelton to give us that out, that we can take that path. We make requests that sometimes don't get answered. In a timely manner, we just don't get answered. And I've sent information to Indianapolis on more occasions than I can count, looking for that opportunity. As this thing started to fall into place, it was a clear picture. It brings a clearer picture to what we can do as the municipality, rather than going into the courtroom and waiting for the courts to give us answers on their time. Now we're working this on our time. So this could be very fluid. This could be a real quick moment here. So trust me when I say that. And part of this is putting it into that column. This is one more peg in that wheel that we can take this claim to the state and see that something does get done. Down to the fact that I can tell you that we've got the numbers down that it's going to cost the city to tear those buildings down. And we've got somebody who can be here in a shorter period of time, if not on that very day, to do that. I think I can say that when and if it happens.
How much is it going to cost the city if everybody here has, what is it, mesothelioma or whatever, asbestos in the lungs? I mean, it's going to down, you're right down the street from it, just a block away from it, inside of an open door with the winds blowing down there. The dust, even in Iron Gate Pizza, not saying Iron Gate Pizza is dirty. I'm not saying that it's dirty. I'm just saying dust is going to find you. Okay? So is everybody, breathing dust, touching dust, eating dust? I wouldn't want to be in your shoes, buddy. I really wouldn't. I don't even like being 4 blocks away from it. Oh, I would. Trust me, I would.
Is that something
Hell,
that-
if I'm dying of lung cancer, I mean, if I had $1 billion, and it doesn't even do me good. It won't do me any good. Yeah. Well, that's where I'm saying if we bring it beyond the emergency thing, I mean, we don't have the right people. We haven't rattled the right chain. I really don't feel that we have.
Do you all really think you're scaring Carolyn Barr though? This is not her first city or second.
This is not really about scaring her.
Making her doing it.
This here.
Not righting the wrong. It's about fixing the growth. This is what this is about. This is not about personalities. It's about the issue at hand. It's about making these streets safe. It's about bringing back the middle of the city to what it should be, not what it is, for lack of anything being done for more years than I care to think. But doing so, and I know we'd like to do it overnight, but I'm here to tell you it never gets done overnight, and it darn well better be done according to law, or it will come back and haunt us for another 5 years. So we're not taking that step until the appropriate amount of work has been done to secure a complete and 100% answer to the takedown of what we know is the problem. Now, I couldn't hear you saying it.
Does this deal with all of the buildings or just these 2?
It's just these 2 at the time. These are the most serious. Then we will advance from that. This would be setting precedent for what would come after these buildings. it's not that this city's gonna stop with these two buildings, because there is no. Building inspectors probably sitting on another 3 set of papers that have to get into the system. But we've got to have an answer and an end, a result to be able to work forward. Right now, we have been held back for a period of time that hasn't allowed us to do that. We're taking a step out of that course to another direction, to another level, utilizing a different set of people to come to this answer faster, more due diligent, and appropriate. That's what we're doing here.
I got something. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I am Jason Scammore. Most of you probably don't know me. Me and my wife have lived on First Street in the old Irvin house. For the people that's been here for a long time. Brick house on First Street. And there's a property of hers right behind us, and there's 2 houses down from us. We've lived here for 15 years. Okay. The biggest question I have is why did it take so long? And let me get back to let me ask another question first. Where is she today, and why is she not here? Why is Carolyn not here today? I mean, is there a reason? I mean, is she supposed to be here? I mean, is there?
The answer is no. It's her call to be here to this open meeting. So up to her to attend.
Okay.
And I got it.
I didn't know if she was legally supposed to or not.
No, there's no legality for her to be here to participate. So, but I want you to remember, we're dealing with buildings 509 and 511. Okay, and I know we can go to another 5 buildings within the city. They are all on our radar. Every one of them. But you've got a good point.
Okay.
They're about time.
Yeah.
Because I dealt with this 14, 15, 16 years ago. And I come back to it, and I'm in this thing 2.5 years. And it's consuming 50% of my time of every day that I work, dealing with something that should have been dealt with 14 years ago. And I'm scratching my head going, why? Well, I can't answer because I wasn't there. But on my watch, anybody who's been in my office, who has spent time anywhere near my phone or on the road with me, knows that issue is a top priority for this administration. So I bring you back to 509, 511.
Okay.
But you're not lost on anything we see now.
Okay. I mean, the question I have about, okay, you say you bring criminal charges against her, correct?
That's right.
Okay. So those criminal charges right now do not affect your other properties, just those 2 properties?
No, just those 2 properties right there, yes.
So after that was done, we would have to go into something else with this.
That's exactly right. We come right back with more charges.
Okay.
If the investigation and the paperwork provides that, the officer did get right up on it, on what we have here. And the prosecutor, she submitted the paperwork. I mean, she took it to the court accepted it. Now we've got a date. But we took hard facts and information up there for the prosecutor to work with. I can appreciate that's a no-win on her part. I spent maybe, an hour with our officer in her office talking about these 2 buildings. She took the photos that I had, took the information that we had, and I think she contacted me 4 days, maybe your office, 4 or 5 days later, and already had a determination. So it can work.
If she is convicted of these criminal charges, what is her punishment? What is the statute? I mean, does she get prison time? Does she get fines?
Good question.
Let me turn that to the attorney.
Does anybody know that?
And again, this is the state. The state has discretion in these cases. As the city council, they have no authority or right or power to bring criminal charges against anyone.
Well,
That's the prosecutor, and the prosecutor has chosen to do that based on a probable cause affidavit that was submitted by a city officer. It's reckless endangerment is a Class A misdemeanor. A Class A misdemeanor carries with it up to 1 year in prison. Again, that would be up to the prosecutor. Most criminal cases are resolved by way of plea agreement. And so we really don't have too much of a comment on a pending criminal case. That's between her and the state.
But it is a misdemeanor.
It is a misdemeanor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I just go there. I'll be here.
Anyone else? Mike's wide open. Comment.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Wendy Marlin. My husband and I own Walls Drive-In. More than the statements, I mainly just have a few questions. Do we have a date of when we think this road might open? Depending on like what's been said in the court hearings yet. The last I heard, she was given some extra time to take the face of the buildings off. I have actually seen some trucks there, but they never actually do any work. Is the only thing. Like I feel like that's going to be one of those where they show up at the last hour and say, yeah, we did it, it's been working, but nothing's actually gotten done. I know for us, as well as several of the other business owners in town, like we don't have that kind of time to wait. Like I had mentioned a while ago, we are quite literally weeks or months away from just having to close our doors after all of the work that we put into that. And I'm not really feeling that we're getting any kind of support to help us in that sense. It's kind of just been like, well, sorry, you're on your own, you know, nothing we can do. And that's our livelihood. So it's kind of hard to see that it just gets shoved to the side by so many places. I know above you all that people don't take into consideration that like our town is made up of people that live here and work here, and that's how we support our families. I don't know how we can go about making it seem more emergent than what it is. I feel like we probably would be like money ahead to just tear them down and ask forgiveness later. Like the criminal charges seem like a waste of time if they're not going to make her take the buildings down. I'm all for being a thorn in somebody's side out of spite. Like that's kind of my jam. But I don't really see how that's helping us reach our end goal, which should ultimately be getting these buildings down, getting this road open, and bringing revenue back into the city. The places that are, and the people that are paying the taxes to support the city are getting choked out. And that's kind of how it feels. I know it's not your all's intention by any means. I know you have to deal with the safety aspect, and we understand that wholeheartedly. I mean, I don't let my kids play on that street. I don't even let them ride their bike to the restaurant. But at the same time, we can't do anything further with our building because of her buildings. No bank will loan us any money. We probably couldn't sell it tomorrow if we wanted to, which we do. We've reached a point where all of the hard work is starting to feel like it was for nothing. We had hoped that by doing this building that other people would see that it's possible, and as soon as we got done, it was just like a knife to the throat. And it's hard for the little guys to hang in as it is. I'm kind of curious as to see if there's going to be any kind of support given for our businesses and our community that are suffering because of her negligence, her just flat out not caring about anything around her. I mean, I know when we were working on our building, we were financially responsible for any asbestos. Is that not something that she should be held liable for? Like,
Yes, she is.
is the EPA not allowed to get involved in that?
The state's idea, okay? They will be involved in that as we proceed. And I agree with everything that you say. And let me back up on one of your comments. And that was, because she's a property owner, even right now, even though we got the ropes in, by the judge's order, she can take anything in and out of there she wants. We have no way to stop that, no way at this time. Secondly, from your standpoint of your business over there, Woody, that was exactly why the state put you here. That's why we put up what we had to get you there.
I know.
Because we seen the possibilities, we seen where that was gonna go. We never doubted y'all's capability. And that's why every morning when I get up, I'm on the phone to somebody trying to, and you don't see that. And I don't expect you to see it. And John's here with me. Almost every day I'm on the phone with somebody trying to remedy this issue. But it is so time consuming because the state of Indiana has given such leeway to property owners that ties us. But I think we're on a good track here. I feel that we are with where we're going. And this very testimony, believe it or not, is going to assist us in our path right now. So, and I certainly appreciate you coming up, and my heart breaks for you, and I mean that.
I know that you would.
Your success is our success. It really is. And I want your children playing on that street like any other child. But we've got to make sure that somehow, and we will, that they're capable of doing that in a safe manner. And tomorrow when I get up, I'm going to be on the phone. I'm expecting a couple of phone calls back, phone calls I made today, trying to wrap this thing up. And hopefully, as I said, in small patches will soon. But we had this scheduled. It was important that everybody, if they wanted to, put their input on the video. For those that's going to be able to probably need to see this at a later date, and when I say a later date, very short date, and try to get some resolution to it. But IDM, the people you're talking about, play a huge part in this that allowed us to deal with those buildings over there. Very good. So I hope soon I come to you and say we just can't this thing. I'm hoping against hope. And it comes back to the asbestos, and now that we understand the issue and what IDM requires of a community such as ourselves to deal with it, it set another light on the issue. But once we got that information from them, and it was like pulling hen's teeth to get it, but we did, then it gave us a path. So that's the course that we're on. That's why we're here. That's why we're listening to you. And I want you to understand that there's nobody here that wants this done any quicker than this board sitting right here and myself. I don't want to deal with this every day. We just shouldn't have to. But we have dealt with this for going close to 20 years. That is crazy. Crazy we've had to deal with this like this is just the beginning with the other buildings. And I don't want to stray away from the 509, 511, but we know there's other facilities in this city that's going to have to be rendered the same way. So, trust me when I say we're definitely on your side. We are.
I understand.
If we will get the ropes down off those barricades, or those barricades gone, the very minute we have the information that we need and know that we take care of it.
Will this board meeting be before August? Because if the schools open up, I live right next door, right here in this building. You got 3 schools sitting right around me. If they're on those playgrounds during the fall with those winds,
Like they were last year, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before.
My question is, these properties become vermin infested. Can the residents of adjacent properties file complaints with the health department? And if we get enough of those, what effect would the health department do? If there's rats, there's cats, or what's the if they get enough complaints from the health department, what would happen?
Absolutely, you can, if you complain about vermin to the health department, they're required under Indiana statute to come and inspect and determine the extent of the problem and to issue fines and whatever other. I mean, the state does have the power to do a lot of things. And the health department, I mean, we don't have a health department here, so, I mean, we rely on the state for that. So,
Do you have appropriate people to file the address to where to file the complaint at? Do you have that information where the property owner where they would go to file the complaint about a property in that condition?
I think you could bring it, your complaint, to City Hall, and then we would, you know, we're limited in the manpower, but probably could, you know, sort that out and figure out who the right people are. And
so there's no Perry County Health Department?
There is.
Yes,
Huh?
there is.
Oh, why couldn't the people file right there?
They could, absolutely.
Okay. That's all I got for right now.
If we're low on manpower, we bring in another attorney to help. Will that be possible? Is that a scenario?
Place another attorney on this at this time. Wouldn't open up any other doors that we're not already familiar with. You're just being added cost to the taxpayer. It just wouldn't bring any more input to make this thing happen any quicker. It just wouldn't.
So the attorney, call the judge and maybe the person to make that phone call you're trying to make, they couldn't hurry that long in it.
This hasn't gone.
I'm just looking for the second attorney to help.
No, these buildings haven't gone to the judge at all. They've gone there before the court. But the fact of the matter is, that's exactly what we're trying to not do, is keep them out of this. Because what we've experienced with the courtroom is we can't get a date to get a decision at any time. That's why the pump is sitting there 3 years old and not been touched. That's why those bricks have been there for 3 years. And I can go back to other buildings, the Harding building, for at least 15 that hasn't been. That's why we're not going that route at this point in time. We've got another deviation that we're taking. We think we have an opening and possibility to put this thing to rest. And this is just, again, a portion of that process that we're getting close to. But adding another wouldn't make any difference at all. Not this
I just
time.
want to know if it
Yeah. No.
I mean, because he said lack of manpower. So,
But not from a legal standpoint. Not from a legal standpoint at this point in
I'm
time.
just putting that out there, you know.
And Bruce, I would ask you in reference to Ed's question, the county health department, how many times have we utilized their assistance?
Several, many.
We
And they have been helpful. You know, Kim has been very helpful with some situations that we've had, and we have had some things resolved through Kim. But yes, anyone that has issues that's next door to them or anything like that, and they feel there's a problem, they can contact Kim Robertson at the Perry County Health Department.
Right, and my point being that the city has utilized the health department, with Kim Robinson out there,
Yes.
to whatever extent of authority she has. So it's not like we have not used that route as well. We haven't left the stone unturned, trying to find a remedy for this within the county, all the way to, actually, to our state senator, to our state representative, Whitney's paperwork that she put together. I personally carried that paperwork to both the senator and the representative. And so you know, I've heard nothing back, okay? I've not gotten anything back from either office. And I took that stuff up to Ferdinand 2 months ago, a good 60 days ago, that I physically handed that to those individuals with no response. I don't have an answer why, but I can tell you it hasn't happened. And I've been on the phone to at least one of them in between without that conversation even coming up. So you have an idea of what I bounce back and forth on. Just so, again, to let you that this is not something that just lays on somebody's desk. It gets work. It gets work all the time. Appreciate it.
Along with what you had said about speaking with the state representatives, I did call all of them myself as well as email all of them myself. down to every fire marshal I could get to answer the phone, just so that everybody knew that people were actually reaching out. They flat out refused to get involved. They said that they would not, could not. It is basically out of their hands, is what I was told, and that it is left up to the city to fight the battle on their own, is essentially what they told me, with no point of direction where to go from there.
And what, the reason I understand that is that I sent information back to Indianapolis to the governor's office.
I did as
I
well.
sent information back to Indianapolis to the Attorney General's office in good hands with someone that I assume would handle this paperwork and perhaps get us some response out of either one of those offices. I had the Secretary of State here a year ago and had this conversation about the properties in my office, and the attorney was there. The city's attorney was with me as we had that conversation. Matter of fact, Patty, I think you were by on that day.
They were just leaving them.
And we were speaking of the issues of this city over a year ago, I think it's over a year ago, to a major extent. So again, there's nothing we've said on our laurels about, ever, not one day. But again, as you hear, whatever we're doing, we're basically running this route alone. And we're not experts at it, but we don't stop. We will not stop. And we're going to find a remedy. We're going to find a remedy. So, thank you.
My name is Mark Northerner. I was on the city council before. I want to correct a couple of things. Plus, say a few things. That better? Okay. I'm old school. I was taught if you own property, you maintain that property. I own property up on Green Meadows. On one side of mine, the house is falling apart. It breaks my bloody heart because that was my parents' first house here. Down the street, there's another property with a carport. You can see daylight through it. I have not heard anything. I brought the one property up to Bruce about the gutters falling down the back, and that went nowhere. But I know my wife would like me to shut my mouth. That's impossible for me sometimes. But what really gets me is we spend all this money in this city to take care of these two buildings. And there was extra attorneys involved. Rod had to hire another attorney when we did the first round of these emergency teardowns, because we held a public hearing in the council room, and there were sworn-in statements, so he could not be involved in that case in the courtroom. So we had to hire an attorney for that, so there was an extra attorney. On the White House over here in front of Free Schools, Myers, there was an attorney hired by the city under Mayor's administration that under the previous administration we had to fire because the attorney was not that bright. He filed all the paperwork in the wrong LLC's name. So I had to start all over again. On these two buildings here, we had the state's building inspector down here and gave us his opinion. Of course, the next day, pretty much, the state calls down, well, we're not getting involved. The state just don't care about us, basically. I talked to the representatives myself. And the only thing he would say is I will try to get Indiana Landmarks off of your back. Nothing happened. Indiana Landmarks knows all about this going on. They've actually said that the pumper was the most stable building in Cannelton. Believe that one? I don't. But think about this. We have spent all this money and all this time with these two properties. That money's got to come from somewhere. Guess where it comes from? Out of your pockets. We could have done a lot of things. We could have filled some potholes. Carolyn Barr does not care about this city. I had that, in fact, I had a representative from the Indian Landmarks tell me, I know she's a property hoarder, but you have to deal with her. Nice. Now, when the last council, the last administration, there was a hearing, and it was decided that we would tear down those two buildings because they were an emergency. They were a danger to the public. Guess what? We got one tore down, and we had an injunction that same day. Before they tore down, they got through tearing down the brick building. All the guy had to do is turn around and hit it once, probably with that excavator, and the pump would be gone. Somehow, she found out about it. I have my theories, but we got an injunction from a court outside of Perry County, who the judge does not care. It's all about property owner. Too bad they can't hold the judge's life if somebody gets hurt. But it's just not fair to us here in Cannelton, to our kids. I raised two kids here. Went to school here in Cannelton, all the way through it. I'm super proud of them, so I'm going to brag on them. Both are engineers. We had an engineer come take a look at these buildings. He wouldn't even walk into one of them. He looked at the door and said, I'm not going in there. Guess what? But we had pictures. Whole walls missing on the inside of that bunker. Not supposed to put anything in there, but what she do? She put chickens in there. Chickens. So we had to take care of that. She is nothing but a cancer on this community. And it's time we gave this community some chemotherapy.
Yep. Good job, Mark.
Yeah, I'll step up.
Who's not up?
I'm sure everybody knows me.
Hey Randy, I just got to, can you make sure you speak real loud? And the reason why is for the people that's on here.
Everybody probably knows me. My name's Randy McBrayer, 125 North 6th Street. I live in the big two-story house right beside Hoover's Funeral Home. And what struck me just now, you talked about asbestos. I didn't realize that. It's coming right down the street to my house. So, you know, I didn't really come to speak, but when I hear our citizens speak up, so Randy, you need to get there and say something. You know, but just yabber jabbering. But, you know, I've lived there all my life too. Then some, it seems like. But like I said, this is going way too long. I'll walk out my house, look down the street, and there that mess is. You know, what you gonna do? She's been here forever, and it ain't getting no better. Okay, I'm done. My wife said I can say too much, I'll get thrown in jail, so here I am.
I'm getting a message from somebody that's watching us online that said they cannot hear the speaker, so I'm going to see if we can't move the speaker up here closer. Do you mind? Let's see if we can
Oh, no, I got a pretty loud mouth.
Well,
Looks like hear me.
let's see if we can get a little closer here. Sorry.
That's right.
And talk loud as you can through that thing. So,
Okay.
we want people watching to hear.
I'm Jeannie Hess. I am a resident here in Cannelton. I've been here 14 years. First of all, I wanted to ask this gentleman here in the blue, what was your question to Smokey about the court hearing date?
Was it going to be before the schools go back in session?
Okay, and Smokey, what was your response?
I'm sorry.
Do you remember what your response was to his question was, will the court hearing be before the kids?
I just simply don't have an answer.
Okay, but at the beginning of the meeting, you said that there was supposed to be a court hearing on July 29th. What would that be?
That's correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I cleared that up. Okay, all right. So obviously we've heard a lot of people talk tonight. And I personally feel, in my opinion, that a lot of these meetings, because I have been attending a lot of these meetings over these buildings, and I feel like it's the same thing over and over and over that we're hearing. I really was hoping to come here tonight and get different answers and different views on things, but I don't know how to fix that, because obviously you are saying you're trying and you're doing what you can do, but I just feel like we're hearing the same thing over and over again, and it breaks my heart to hear these business owners say what they are saying tonight. I was not going to speak tonight because I think I spoke enough on TV. So, but when I heard these business owners talk the way that they are talking, saying possible things that we don't want to hear as a community, it broke my heart. We need to be doing something. I don't know what else we can do. I have tried my own investigation. I've reached out. I've done whatever I can do as a citizen, but something has got to give. We have got to figure something out. And my last question is, was Cannelton Bar notified that we were having this meeting tonight? Was she aware of this meeting?
By the date of May, I think it was, the board works meeting she was at was in May or April.